travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, you invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would...
Go, Korey. Finish it off. How's it go?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't watch that show.
Thank you for being a friend. How are you guys? Let's say hello to chat quickly. Mo's in the house. Good to see you, dude. Camel Moon. This is just some crazy disrespect right here. He says, hey, everyone. I'll be over on Mandy's in 15 minutes. See you all there. Dude, that's just terrible. Micro's in the house. Art and Time of Jay Rise is here. Bancroft's here. Good to see you, man. Scrolling down. Korey's here. Micro. Eloise, the viewer. Who is the replicator? And hello. How are you guys?
Ooh, I'm good. Just changing up my microphone. Hey, what is with that intro song, Rob? Why do you choose the...
That's all I had.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it held a special place in your heart.
No, it's like I'm looking through the songs I've got. That is like one of 6. And that's it.
That's great.
Yeah. Mike says, wait, why does Clayton have a picture of Korey as his picture?
That's a picture of me.
Isn't it?
Micro, yeah. That's how I used to look.
Wow, my God, it does look like Korey. Look at that.
It makes sense because we're brothers. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Shane's here. Conspiracy and Comics is here. All right, we're going to talk about making some comics today. What have you guys been working on this last week?
For me, I've been working on some commission stuff, doing layouts and also a character illustration for Joe Sontag. You guys might know him. I'm doing a Reaper Destroyer piece, and I'm really excited for how that's going to look in the end.
How's it going? Can you show us or not?
Not much has changed on it, actually, since the last time I showed you, but I did do the inked outline for it.
Beautiful.
So, that's
we're trying to give the impression here, Clayton, that we're actually working on
that
comics.
We actually work
week from week. Yeah.
Hang on a second. That's I'll try that again. Yeah, some things I can show, some things I can't show. It was really the layouts I was working on mostly this week.
They're looking sick, dude. The layouts.
Thanks.
You showed me behind the scenes. They're looking amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you think that my work is well done, Rob. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this is an interesting story, actually, because initially I was going to just do clean pencils on this particular piece. And as I was doing it, it was taking way longer than I thought it would. So I thought, well, screw this. I'm just going to ink it out and see what happens. And lo and behold, I got most of this inked out and this outline would have been maybe 1.5 to 2 hours. And I thought, you're an idiot. You should have just done this from the beginning. So it's interesting the trial and error that we go through in order to realize what we need to do, what the best path is to follow. And sometimes, unfortunately for me, I just have to do the wrong thing to figure that out. Most of the time. It sucks. It's very time-consuming.
So what are you doing now moving forward? Like if you finally figured it out, have you had an epiphany?
I'm going to stick with the inks because I guess I thought that for some reason it would be faster to just do clean pencils and I could pretend that they're inks after that, which you kind of can when it's digital penciling, but I just felt like here's why it takes much longer to do that, because you're somewhat sculpting out those lines more. Whereas with the inks, you can lay down a line straight away and not have to do too much tweaking to it if you lay it down correctly. And so I know that's a bit technical and a little bit, probably boring to listen to, but that's the realization that I came to.
And are you doing full colors on this, or are you just doing the line work?
I'm not doing colors, I'm doing just the line work. So I'll be adding shadows into this piece and then rendering it out because I know that's definitely what Joe Sontag is looking for. And then I'll be passing it off to Joe Sontag to figure out which colorist is going to be doing it up. And I don't know yet. I mean, that he gave me a choice between two people, so I'm just deciding.
Oh,
which
wow.
two.
You get to choose the colorist. Yeah, I like
Well-
that, man. I like that.
Well, see, the thing is unfortunately my style. I don't know what it is about it, but it can be difficult to color. Korey has colored it before. What's difficult about it, Korey?
Well, I think I've said before this because it's clean right now might be easy to color, but like the coastal cover, it's a bit hard because it's like the rendering the shadows already established. So it's like I have to kind of like work with what's already there. But it's like with clean line work, I can kind of choose where the side lights and stuff are all going to go.
Yeah.
Mo says the choices were Korey or Zach. He's taking his time weighing up the better option. God damn, Mo, that's brutal. That's
Who's
brutal.
Zach?
You know how Zach did $4.99 and he colored it with
shit.
like fluorescent green and
Oh yeah.
pink
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's funny.
you're gonna render this out like you rendered out Goliath. Like, is that the look that Joe wants?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, it's gonna take.
Although
you
my
forever.
rendering style has taken a bit of a shift from that. So now I use more diagonal cross-hatching, which you would be familiar with if you've ever seen Shelby Robertson's work.
Ooh.
I find that it produces a really nice looking 90s style or early 2000s comic book style, which I personally dig. Most of you would probably know that about me. I find the grid look a little bit too clean and organized sometimes, which is what I did for Goliath, but I still include it, of course. And the big difference between doing this now and when I was doing Goliath is I'm way faster at this point.
That's cool.
Yeah, way
How much
faster.
like how much faster do you think you've gotten?
If I'm sitting down and I'm focused, a lot faster. Goliath took me a month.
It did take you a long time.
It took a while, and that wasn't me just screwing around. That was me at the drawing board all day and probably part of the night every day
God,
for some
seriously?
reason. Yeah, and now, if I really wanted to, I feel like I could get this done in maybe 2 to 3 days.
All right, so by next week you'll have it completely finished. Is what I'm hearing.
That's actually what I told Joe. Yeah.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sure Corey's got stuff, but I got heaps of stuff, so we'll go to me
Yeah,
first.
let's check it out.
Eric Canetti is going to do a cover for me for Rep 4.
Oh.
So I've got a couple of options here. So I want to get your opinion and chat's opinion. I haven't got approval to show these, but I'm doing it anyway because I'm a madman. So it's Ghost versus Goliath, not Goliath, Onslaught on the cover. So this is option one.
I didn't know that was her name, Onslaught. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool name, isn't it? I like it. Apparently, it's been done many times before, but I don't care.
Oh, well.
Option one, option two,
Oh, that's cool.
and these are just thumbnails, obviously, guys. So, and option three. What do you guys think? What do you guys think in chat? 1, 2, and 3. I've got one I prefer, but I want to see what you guys say first.
I know that options 1 and 3 are really dynamic, but personally, option 2 feels really readable.
Which one? Which one was?
Sorry, the third one there that you've got up.
This one?
Yeah. I just feel like I really like the shape and the silhouette that's being created by the two of them, and the action that's happening. The pose is really clear. It's very readable, whereas the other ones are interesting and dynamic, but you don't. You almost have to take a second glance in order to figure out what's happening on the page.
What do you think,
Especially,
Corey?
especially the first one. Sorry, because it's. I was like, "Whoa, is she giant?" I'm sure it wouldn't look like that in the finished piece, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, well, I think Clayton's full of shit. I like the first one.
What do you like, Corey?
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't get it when people say it's like it's hard to read. Like, I guess maybe it's hard to read than the others, but I still think the first one, it looks very impactful. Like, it has a lot of energy, and it's like they're falling out the sky. You got cool perspective and stuff. I think if he done that one, it looked freaking amazing.
This one?
I think if he done the one Clayton picked, it would look good, but I think it'd look pretty average.
Jeez. All right. Let's see what chat is saying. Colin says, this is from before. Corey's sitting there saying, I'd have it done by the afternoon.
That's funny.
Mo says 2. Jay Ryan says middle or right. What else? 1 from Bancroft, 1 from Conspiracy and Comics. I really like 2.
Oh, there you go.
I can be easily convinced. I think that all look awesome.
Yep.
I just think 2 has a really unique and interesting layout. Like looks like she's standing on the chick's legs and fighting her at the same time, and it looks sick.
Yeah, it looks a bit awkward. Is the only thing.
That wasn't the 2 I was meant middle.
Middle.
Which one? Just tell me. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. Yeah, I know. I did switch them around like a man who doesn't know how to count.
You did.
I think I could choose any of these. I think that the angles look sick.
Yeah, it's probably a personal preference. I agree with everything Corey said. I think it is a really impactful and dynamic piece. I just, yeah, for a comic book cover, I don't know. It really depends because they have different feelings as well. And it depends on the feeling you want to establish and the kind of mood. One of them is very action-packed. One of them's it's still action-packed, but it seems more organized as well. Like there's possibly not as much energy to it, but it's packing something else. So there's the different trade-offs with each of these covers, I think.
I think I could get any of these thumbnails and it would be great, but I might just ask Eric. He's been in the game a long time. What he thinks the best cover is, and just go with that. Honestly,
he's probably got a preference.
Yeah, probably.
Mo says 2 establishes a feeling of boredom. Where's the logo going? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good question. 1 has space for the logo, and 2 and 3 are very vertical.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's going to be interesting. All right. What about you guys? What do you got, Corey? What do you got going on?
I've basically been stuck on the Borak cover all week.
Because you're working on that last week, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, it's a pretty brutal cover to work on.
Why is it taking so long, Korey?
I'm trying, because I had to recolor it, and I'm like, fuck. I got to match Clayton's expectations, so I got to work on it extra hard. So.
You should get up the little paint over thing that I did for you, Korey, as well, because then people can see the process that we go through. So essentially, Korey was showing me what he was doing, and then he's like, "What do you think?" And I took a look at it and said, here, do this. What if we make this pop a little bit more? Because I think it's really handy if you have an editor that can, or I don't know what other role to call it. If you've got an art director working within your team who can actually show you what they mean instead of just explaining it, it can
Yes.
be very valuable.
Yeah. Okay.
So Korey's actually nailed it pretty well. He's still got to add some additional highlights to Borok. And of course, this is nowhere near done yet. But what we're trying to do is get Borok to stand out nicely against the background by giving him a complementary opposing color scheme with the blue, cooler ambient light opposing the orange, warmer light from behind him, except at the same time, that blue light almost needs to be the primary light source, right? So it's
Zoom
also
in,
got to be
Corey.
bright and standing out.
Yeah. So most of the peak's done. But yeah, Clayton's like, it's a bit tricky because the sun's meant to be behind Borok, but I guess the sun's kind of hitting these guys at an angle. I'm still not totally sure what to do to Chicken, whether she'll be done in the same blue light as Borok. Because, yeah, this is what I mean about if it's already rendered right, Julius has already rendered in a side light around her arm and around her body. And so it's like, well, if the blue's going to be her main light, then what do we do to side light it? Or do we do to side light blue and try to fit in the orange on her?
I think it'd be orange still.
Yeah.
I think because the reason that Borog is mostly in cooler lighting is because the sun is directly behind him. And so you'll have a few side lights coming in that are sunlight on Borog, whereas because of the positioning of the other characters, the light will be hitting them differently. So I think that you'll be able to have that warmer light come in and hit the girl, have the blue ambient light be the rim light or the secondary light on her, just like with the goblins.
Micro says no butt kissing, but you guys have taken a huge art jump, top 5 in CG without a doubt. Bancroft
Thanks.
says purple and orange.
Yeah.
NTM's popped in here. American Comics Co. B.A. Turner. Eloise is here. Greg Levitri is here. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone popping up.
Great to see you guys.
This looks like you're a bit stumped on it, Corey. So what do you do? Do you just keep working at it, or do you go work on something else and come back to it?
Well, I just keep working at it because I kind of have to get it done so I can do the next Korey page, make some money. So I can keep working on the Coin comic.
Yeah.
So I've just been grinding away. I mean, I have been a bit distracted by the Coin comic. Like every now and then I'll get the itch to just work on that instead. And see,
Yeah.
Boobs, I can do that. So what do you think of this, Clayton? Like,
Well, it's not done yet. A lot of the time, Corey's coloring looks like this in the beginning, so it's hard to tell how it'll ultimately end up presentation-wise. But my only concern at this point is the color of the sun. I don't think that's the right color. That's going to have
I
to
told you,
probably
man, the sun's
change.
not done.
it looks more like a moon right now.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And
You're like pointing at something that's not even finished.
well,
I
like
haven't
I
even
said,
finished
Corey.
the clouds either.
Corey, relax. Corey's been really friggin' defensive this week. We've had a lot of disagreements.
Really?
Can't take a little bit of an ego hit. But basically, that's about it. And it's not done yet,
Yeah.
but that'll be something that Corey needs to address. The reason I bring it up early on is because sometimes if I don't, it's still there at the end.
Jeez. God
So, and Corey, probably the highlights on the clouds almost need to have a bit more orange put into them. Like a bit more of that direct orange sunlight. So, I don't know. That'll either be you placing those in manually or adjusting the highlights.
I just said to you, man, the clouds weren't done.
Bancroft says, why isn't this work in progress 100% completed?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Look, okay, this war, man, most of its highlights are completed. And another tricky thing about this was, right, so we actually came up with a third sort of side highlight, which was more of an orange bounce light on his horns and stuff.
Why is that a third? That should just be the second.
The second is the orange side light on Borok.
That's
and
what
the blue is the main highlight.
Yeah, that's what should be on the ball.
So, I mean, Clayton, you obviously have some critique for Korey's color work here. Why have you let him color it if you're, telling
that's a
him
good
how it
point.
should be done?
Because Korey is getting really good. I see potential in Korey, and he is a colorist in training, and so it's an interesting thing, right? Especially when you're paying somebody to do work, but they're still training. That can be as the person who's hiring them. It's an interesting conflict you have to work out within yourself, because on one hand, you're thinking, well, hey, I'm paying them to do this. They should be able to pull it off, and they should be able to pull it off well without me having a hand in it at all, right?
Oh my god!
Which is the most reasonable and common expectation. That's exactly the expectation you should have. Except with me and Korey, it's a bit different, because I'm sort of mentoring and training him up at the same time, because I feel like there's an investment I'm making in that. And if I can train Korey up to an expert level and have him color all my stuff later on, then to me, that's the payoff. That's the ultimate payoff. And so hopefully that stuff, the advice, the feedback that I give him when he's not letting his ego get in the way, sinks in, and he is actually able to allow it to help him evolve as a colorist. It just takes a lot of time.
There are some great comments in here. NTM says, Korey, those clouds are kind of flat. And yours says, Korey, just send it to Clayton. Micro says, Korey is so quiet. He's thinking of all the ways he's going to accidentally get rid of his brother. Jay Ryan says, Korey, you can't stand in Clayton's shadow forever. Step out into the sunlight. Bathe in it. Yeah. Nef's here, good to see you, dude. He's having a really good show over in his channel. Go check it out, everyone.
Well, I don't know what it is, because Korey gets hired to color other people's stuff, and he usually does a great job of it. You guys have seen the Clone Chick comic. I didn't help him out with that at all, as far as the coloring is concerned.
You did slip in usually there, Clayton. I did hear that.
Yeah. It's just with the stuff that I hire him to do. I don't know if he maybe overthinks it or gets really nervous about it or something, but I am required to give him additional direction on those particular jobs for some reason. What do you think? What do you think of that, Korey? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm no colorist, man, but this looks like an effing hard page to color.
It is a really hard page to color.
Yeah. Like, you've got the light coming from the back. Where you want more light sources. Where are they going to come from?
Exactly. So, Korey, is there a difference between when you're working on the clone comic or another person's commission? Is there a difference between doing that and doing the more detailed stuff that you've got to tackle with Julius's work and my work?
I mean, it's hard to say, man. Because obviously, like, I would say Julius and your style is, like, it's very rendered. And that's why sometimes it can be difficult. And Rob's right. Like, this piece, it's like I got to figure out all these different light sources and, like, how to make it all fit and work together properly. Like, the Kozel cover, I use like 3 different lighting palettes on it. So Chief Baron's got his own sort of lighting palette, Magator in the background, right? So it was like pretty complex. But I mean, I've done commissions recently for like CA Pence, and it's just all like one page sort of pin up, and it's like you can all just use the same lighting source, and it's like it's not overly rendered, so it's pretty easy to color.
Yeah.
And I'd say the clone comic's pretty easy because it's like it's not rendered at all, and I already know what I want for it. Like I've already planned it out as I'm drawing. So
For sure. Yeah, there's
Bancroft says, "Yeah, this is getting close to painting. Reminds me of J. Lee pages from Dark Tower."
for sure.
NTM says, "Clayton, just get a real colorist to color it like Bancroft." God damn, NTM, you're a
Yeah, it's
savage.
brutal.
Mo says, "Stop roasting Korey before he loses confidence and abandons the Frazetta agenda to wallow in eye-offending, stylized weeb jankiness."
you know what, NTM man, I'm done giving advice to him. He can go to Bancroft.
He's done.
I'm sure Bancroft will help him out heaps.
Guys, I have an idea that I want to spring on you. Korey, it's been a long time. You went head-to-head with someone and you lost. How do you feel about getting revenge and doing it all again? I have a page that is flooded. How do we feel about Bancroft versus Korey again? Who is the best colorist in CG?
Here we go. What will
What do you
Korey
think,
say?
Korey?
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know, honestly. I just want to focus on the clone comic.
Oh,
And, you
Korey
know.
backing down from the challenge.
Look, honestly, I feel like Bancroft's improved a lot in his colors, actually. I was looking at his, what was his latest scene? Where it
Latest
was like
scene,
the catacombs
Painted
or
Death.
something?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Like,
crazy.
I swear. I'm like, is he using the overlay on his highlights like I do? The hell's going on here?
Oh, it sounds like Bancroft is copying from you, Korey.
No, I
Stealing
actually think
your-
he's gotten a lot better. I would say his stuff doesn't look as flat as it used to.
Wow.
Oh man, Korey, you seem like you can talk, but can you walk the talk? That's the question. Yeah.
I'm surprised, Korey. I thought you'd want a chance at redemption, a chance to beat Bancroft once and for all.
Nah, I'm done beating down on Bancroft. I want to be friends with him, actually. I think he's a great dude.
Oh wow, this is unexpected.
Speaking of that catacomb piece that Michael Bancroft was working on, I looked at the little skulls that were in that structure, and I was like, is Michael going to color each one of those and add highlights to each one of those skulls? That's going to take forever. So I want to ask Michael Bancroft if he actually did that, if he attended to each one of those individual skulls, because that is commitment right there.
Jay Ryan says, time working on your own project or doing free work for Rob? Tough choice.
Yeah.
It is a bit challenging.
You know what? Look, if Bancroft wants to color one of my clone pages with me, maybe.
Oh.
So it's like I could do work at the same time and do the competition. And then if he wins, he's just showing me how to color my own work.
Well, Korey, I think a lot of it is just developing your eye to see things the way you need to see it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that, Korey. Rob, why are you trying to make enemies out of Korey and I? I actually lifted some techniques from him after working on his Rep 3 colors.
See, I knew it.
Oh.
I was telling Clayton the other day, man. I'm like, that catacomb thing looks freaking familiar.
Korey, guess what? Do you know why both of you might be doing that? Because it is a comic book coloring technique that no one invented. Well, neither of you guys invented, but it's like been passed down from, wherever you learned it, wherever it was initially taught. It's a common coloring technique, is what I'm saying.
I saw his one he done for Zaid's book was pretty good.
I thought we could get Korey, we could get Bancroft, we could get all the colorists
See,
in
bro, I
CG.
know what you're trying to do here, man. You're trying to make me color replicator again. And
No, not just one page, Korey. I just want to see who. I just want to get all the colorists and let's see who wins in a fighting.
I'll
the
do
death
it
match.
if it's a clone page from my comic. Because Bancroft colors simple styles as well.
That ruins
And I want to
Rob's.
see.
That ruins the whole point of the competition, Korey.
Oh, here we go. Bancroft wants the link. Here we go. Where is he? I'll send it to him. Unbelievable.
This is funny. This is funny. But
I mean,
I'd be down, dude. It doesn't have to be my page. It's just like this is flattered, ready to go. But if you've got a flattered clone page, Korey, ready to go, we can do it off that.
I like that Rob flattered the piece in preparation.
You gotta be prepared.
oh, did
Totally.
you hire an actual flatter for Replicator, but
No,
like separate to the colorist?
no,
Or is it just
no.
Have you found a colorist for this yet?
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, I've got
Cool.
one.
Yeah.
I've come to some realizations though, and it's like a whole. I don't know if I've got time to talk about it in this video, even though everything I say takes like 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Oh, here's Mike. Here we go.
Hey, Michael.
you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing,
Bancroft?
What are you doing?
Corey? I don't know. Like, why
Yeah,
you
I
like?
want to be friends with Bancroft.
I
We
know
could
it's like
do a stream
whole
talking
thing-
about our stuff, you know.
this whole thing. It was a scab. You're picking at a scab. I don't know like what you're trying to
Scabs.
do here.
Scabs are really fun to
yeah.
pick at, dude.
I was saying to you, I mean, Corey, I was saying to Rob the other day, we actually went out to lunch, and I'm like, Corey has really, like, he really pulled off the colors on Kozor. I was super impressed. The book
Yeah,
looks
thanks.
great, and I understand.
hope
I
you
know,
said on
like, I know
stream.
what everything. I know what Clayton is saying on all this piece because I can see it's not finished yet. I can see that. So, no, I'm on Corey's side, Rob. I don't know why you're trying to like force
Yeah.
us to work for you so that you like. I see that it's completely transparent. You're trying to get us to do work for you as part of
Dude,
like some.
I
fake-
literally just said work on the clone comic. I don't care. It doesn't have to be mine. I've just put the thing in front of you. It's ready to go. It's the fight can happen.
It doesn't have to be a fight. Like we're not fighting. I want to actually answer. Clayton's question because yeah, you're right. Like I'm using the same sort of setup, I would say, in Painted Death for the colors that I did in Waking Dream. What's changed is I sort of learnt a lot of lessons in color contrast, color theory, that sort of stuff since Waking Dream. So that's probably what you're seeing. Definitely improved.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
But I want to show you what I picked up from Korey that I'm using.
Don't say it to NTM. That guy.
Well, NTM, we're all improving. NTM's improving. Yeah. We're all improving. All right. So that's the main thing. What I did take from Korey is to have a shadow layer that is a color, and that way you can really like
the
you can really
multiplier stuff?
affect. Yeah. So I was usually just like paint. I was doing a separate, like making the flats layer and then kind of painting over the top of that for any shadows, which isn't as good. I use just masks and stuff now. I think that's what you use, Korey. So that's the shadow layer. So you can see there, if I turn that off, yeah, it's like a lot flatter.
So you weren't using, because like with my highlights, I use like a final like overlay cut on the highlights because this looks rich, like the yellows on it.
Well, I mean, it's probably like I've got adjustments as well. So if I turn off the adjustments, that'll probably no, not really. Look, I'll tell you what I've got here. This is what so this the basic highlights. To answer your
wow.
question, Clayton, yes, I am highlighting each skull, but
Wow.
it's not like you have to do every single skull.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like it's it gets to a point where it's going up into the blue, and so you don't have to really highlight them. But yeah, I'm like it's so quick and easy. It's not going to take forever for, even though it is a pretty intense page. But no, that's sort of it. And then there's just a rim light on there. That's all it is. So it is sort of the same techniques and everything being used. But yeah, I took the shadow layer, and I also, the main thing that I took that I'm doing differently now after working on Replicator that I didn't do before was using the pen to brush in highlights. I was purely just kind of cut and grad, making lassos and then gradiating them. Whereas now, a lot of times, I will use a pen, a brush.
Oh, cool.
Sorry, a brush. I wasn't doing that before. So yeah, thank you, Korey.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Look, I want to be friends now. You know, like the Mortal
how would you
Kombat
fix this,
friendship
Mike?
thing. Yeah.
How would you color this, Mike?
I wouldn't know where to begin. I mean, I would figure it out eventually. But yeah, no, this is, like I said, this is more like you're getting into kind of Frazetta styles. I got the I mentioned it, the Jay Lee Dark Tower series, which is very painterly as well, really dark black inks, bright colors. Yeah, I don't know. Look, he's doing great. Like I can see where he's still got a ways to go, but
Yeah.
figure it out.
With a page like this, Korey, that like just leaves you stumped, do you go and just pour through all the comics you have and try and find something that works for you, or you just kind of smash your head into a wall until you figure it out?
I think before I had like references and stuff, but it's kind of like, you know, I was comparing this to another Borok page already done in the book for this new one, which Clayton had been like, dude, you should do it more like this. And me and Clayton had talked about a lot about what to exactly do with this when we're remastering it. So Clayton's kind of like telling me exactly how he wants to do it, and I'm trying to do it as best I can. Figure it out.
But you should use the references out there, Korey. I tell you that all the time. Find another comic book page that is colored well, that you like, with the same setup that you have in the piece you're coloring, and then essentially take what you can from it. I think that's the best approach sometimes, especially when you're working on a piece that's unfamiliar territory.
Guys, this is blown up recently. You went on Malin's,
Yeah.
and just smashed it.
Yeah, John Malin did us a real solid. He's seems to really be a fan of Kozor, and we're so thankful that he took the time to do that for us, to spread the word and to get it in front of some eyes. And yeah, people jumped on board. I think that's the thing with Kozor, is if we can get it in front of people, it's pretty hard to resist. Cause
especially when you show off the actual book, though. The actual book looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Once you get the books in hand as well, and they start getting out there, people seeing them on their Twitter timelines, you'll notice a big uptick.
For sure.
You gotta get that up to 40K. It's gonna. I reckon you can make it happen if you get the books out there.
People are asking, is there babes like the coin comic in this? And there sure is.
Are they, Korey, or is that just you?
I mean, there's yellow babes.
I mean, they're kind of yellow though.
Look, there's some pregnant babes for that one guy, and there's like angel
pregnant
babes
for that one guy. Who's that one guy that wants pregnant babes?
Look, this one's pretty good.
Look,
you got a bunch of like flying bird babes. Got some Magator.
I haven't seen this page, man. That's great.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
something in there for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but whenever I go on Mailins, I always get like a ton of backers. Yeah, it's a great place.
Could possibly be the 500 to 800 rabid comic skaters that watch every one of his streams. I reckon.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Did the prints come in yet? What's the go there?
So we have got pretty much the final proofs in, but we wanted to test out some different cover stocks. So that's the only thing that we're waiting on. And he said that he could get it to us today. So that'll be really great. Because we wanted to see if a thicker cover would give it a bit more of a premium feel. And
We didn't like the
Yeah.
gloss look.
we didn't like the gloss look
Oh,
either.
man.
So we've gone for more of a laminated... more of a matte appearance, matte lamination. Just because I feel like that, when I got the gloss, I felt like that
Too
was more of an
shiny.
art book. It's almost like what you would use for an art book, not a
It definitely
comic
has
book.
a different feel to it. Like it's good, but it's certain.
It's
It's
nice.
for certain comics.
For sure, big time. If we had have gone perfect bound, maybe it would have suited it better too. But we're going with the stapled because
You might need to update that.
Yeah. Clayton said he needed to update it on Mailin stream.
Oh yeah, whoops. Yeah, you're getting that, guys. Don't worry. You're getting
Beautiful.
that.
That's awesome, guys. I can't
Yeah.
wait until it comes in. That's gonna be great.
Yep. So if everything all checks out today, if we get those proofs back today, we'll put in the order, and then once we get that order in, we'll start signing them. And then, as far as the fulfillment process goes, we're probably going to send them all over to the US in bulk
Wow.
and get them fulfilled over there.
By RJ.
Yeah, we've been talking to RJ,
Nice.
and from what I've heard is nothing but good comments about his wonderful service. He seems like he's got it all together over there. I personally feel like he could probably do a way better job than Korey and I could do it, and faster. So that's certainly gone into some of the decisions that we've made surrounding it. We would have got the books just printed in America and sent straight to him, but we got to sign them. So that's why they were printed here with a
Yeah.
very wonderful printer that Michael
Well,
Bancroft suggested.
Yeah, I don't think I've not seen anyone's digital prints come anywhere close to John's. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Just the whole everything about him is just awesome.
Yeah, he's extremely communicative too. Like if I send him an email, usually he replies within the hour, and it's just I can't tell you guys how amazing that is. Communication goes such a long way in every single aspect of
Yeah.
people that you're dealing with.
Mate, it's infuriating. Like I'm looking for colorists, right, for just different things, and it's got to the point where I DM'd about 20 different colorists, heard back from about four out of 20, and 2 of those were available. So it is crazy. There's super chat here from Dr. Mask's Retro Elixir for 19.99. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Hail Bancroft, Rob, Korey, and Clayton. Got a big package today, and I thought it was Christmas. If I was second place winner, I can't imagine first. Can't wait to dig in. Oh,
That's
dude,
awesome.
that's sick, man. You got the graveyard shift stuff. Yeah?
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Wait, what other stuff needs to be colored on Replicator?
Not really. I just kind of I want to have like a stable of people that I know I can work with, that I can rely on, right? So if I've got a pin up and I need doing, I can go to this guy and he'll kill it, and it won't take forever. Because like I've found, like, if you rely on one person to get something done, you're fucked, because unless they're totally reliable, they drift away, they go by the wayside, and you kind of scrambling trying to find someone to do colors for you.
Yeah, and imagine full books. That's the the biggest, I don't think a lot of people realize hiring somebody on a full book, whether it be a colorist or a penciler or an inker or whatever, is such a big risk for a creator. And I know on both sides there's problems
Yeah.
but that can crop up. But the thing is that an artist can just, or it can just abandon the project midway, and it might not be even their fault. Maybe they've got some kind of personal issue that they're dealing with. Maybe it could be a medical one. It could be to do with them moving. It could be anything. And if all of a sudden they can't complete the book, it leaves you in a really tough position.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it, especially if they're working overseas.
I just don't think you can put all your eggs in one basket anymore.
You can't.
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be, where everyone would work together in a bullpen. Everyone's full time, and you've got multiple people working at the same time on one book. Like the majority of people are part time, or not even that. Like working outside of job hours to get comics done. So to get work quickly and good is really difficult.
I think you got to at least have a contingency plan if
I agree.
things do go south. There should always be a plan B so that you're not completely screwed up if things don't work out.
You guys have I don't want to call it a luxury because you've spent years perfecting your craft, but if someone F's up or screws you over or drops out or whatever it is, you could probably jump in and do the little tweaks that need doing. I can't do that. I have to look for people to do that for me, and it's irritating.
Good, Rob.
Mate, I'm tempted to start learning how to color.
In 20 years, you'll be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, this is a page that I've got in Rep 4, okay? So let me tell you what the issues I have with it and what the workarounds that we've done, and see what you guys think. So I think it's a cool kind of layout. I like these panels, but I think these panels should go over into this second panel here, right? And then we've got these panels, these two inset panels here, and it's just showing Ghost releasing this person here from their bondage. I don't want to say bondage. It's a bit weird. Restraints, right? So I don't know what you guys think of it. I don't think it's as good as it could be. So what we did was we changed it to this, right? So we moved these panels here over. We got rid of those inset panels there.
Yeah.
But we've got all this dead space here now. So the question I have to you guys is, one, I guess, do you think it's better? Two, do we need those inset panels to explain what's happening in the story, or is that something I can just work out with dialogue down here in the bottom? And what you do with the page from here to make it look better.
Are they can you, if you need to tell that part of the story and show, if it's an important part, then I would say if you can fit them onto another page, probably that would be the best option.
That's what I was going to say.
But the panels, I would just extend them lower to fill up some of that negative space, unless you can add dialogue. Yeah, just drop them further down. That would make them look even more dynamic as well. Especially because what's happening within those panels is, horror. People screaming, people yelling. So if you make those panels all different sort of sizes, extend those middle ones, I think that could add to the feeling, the mood that you're trying to get them to convey within the story.
She's wrapped around cords around all their necks, and she's electrocuting them. So that's what's happening. And you can see at the bottom panel here, the guy, his face is all burnt off.
I don't think you need the other panels. I think that's she's electrifying them, and then the next thing you see them lying there
dead,
with smoke coming up. It's 1 + 2 = 3.
Shit, does
yeah,
it?
Look, I think so. I'm pretty sure. those are good suggestions if you want. I think that would actually make it a little bit more dynamic if those middle two inset panels reach down a bit, sort of jagged. But if you don't want to do that at another time or whatever, I think it would be fine with just some dialogue in there. But no, this is an improvement. You didn't need those other things.
Hyperwizard says, draw the chords going over the panel borders to their heads. Draw the chords going over the panel borders to their heads. What does he mean?
No, I don't think that works. Like, because you're looking at these people, they're not like standing in front of her. It's sort of like, how do you word this? They're in different places around her. So it's not like the cord is going to them and they're there, you know. It's just they're close-ups of their head as they're being electrocuted by her. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think I could get away with just having dialogue here, and I think it's pretty clear what's happening. It's pretty clear that she's rescued him and she's walking him out the door. I mean, we don't need to see the fact that she's released him from the restraints and is getting him out of there. Like that's told there on the page. But I do think what you guys said about making these bigger would work better. So that is what's working.
Yeah, it looks really good. It must feel great to get Replicator 4 underway and to see it all coming together and have the same artist that was on the previous one be on this one.
It's fantastic, man. That's the best thing about like artists. If you stick with them, right, and you give them work and you give them good feedback and you make them feel loved, they put in work and they get better.
For sure.
Korey,
No, it's
still waiting for that love.
It's true. It is true, though, I think. Although, it sometimes, not even that will work out. There's so many different people out there that you've got to deal with.
Can I say something about this page?
Yes.
I still think it should be split into two because I feel like, that middle split looks very awkward, and then you got like these flames come up into the top. It's like both the panels are designed well, but they're hitting each other awkwardly.
It's like creating tangents.
If you made the ghost one a full page, then you can make these middle panels bigger and sort of show more of that they're actually being hit by the wires. And it's like on the next page, you got room to really show like ghosts rescuing whoever and stuff. Like it's just more room. It's like right now, it just feels like so much is bunched in. And I imagine when it goes to colors, it's like you're gonna have even more clashing stuff. Just my opinion. Like, and it'll be more impactful going from one page to the next.
What do you think?
I like what Korey is saying would work. I don't know if it's necessary though. I think it could work as it is.
It's just my opinion.
I think you would eliminate a lot of the concerns that Korey's just outlined there by making a couple of those inset panels bigger, a bit more dynamic, reaching down, covering up, making sure that there's no. So you got that line in the middle where the top panel, like, just make that not as visible because there is a tangent happening there. It's like going up towards her, which it's not really, like that should be two separate things. Which is, I think if you did that, that would
for sure
get most of the way there too.
It's really weird. Like, I understand how you feel, Mike, drawing like online live because things you're not showing what you want people to show, but you're showing the work in progress of it. So it does like,
and everyone has an opinion. Everyone's an art expert. Everyone knows how to do it better. You could do that so much better.
So do you guys have any others?
I gotta run. I got a meeting to get to. I'll see you guys.
Hey, mate.
Later.
Thanks for popping in.
See you, Michael.
Do you guys have any other stuff you're working on, or do you want me to show you another one that I'm...
Oh, yeah, show us another one.
Okay, so I got this double page spread, which is good. It's fine, right? It's
Oh, looks
she's
great.
walked out. She's walked out after that page we've just looked at, and she's got all these bad guys she's about to fight, and she starts fighting them here. The problem I have is on the next page, which is this one, and I think it is way too packed. It's way too much going on. What do you guys think?
Hey, wait. Get back to the other page. Man.
Okay, cool.
Where's her boobs at, man? On the, not Ghost, the other one.
What?
Yeah.
Looks like pecs to me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
God, Korey. Jesus.
Yeah.
Look, if I was a betting man. Anyway.
Korey, we should talk about the story for your clone comic in a minute.
No,
What
we
story?
shouldn't, man.
What story?
That stuff's kept on the wraps. Okay?
What story, Korey?
Just try to tell Korey advice about how to make his story make sense. Like why the boobs are there in the first place is really difficult. Because he has lots of lines that he crosses, but some lines he won't cross that would help make the whole book make so much more sense. And when he doesn't want to hear what you have to say, he'll misinterpret what you're saying and take it to some crazy place. Yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, I think that first one looks great, Rob. But then, yeah, when you get to this page,
much.
this is another very collage-y page, and so you're almost dealing with an extension of that initial double page spread.
I think what I'll probably do is break this up into 2 pages. I think this is too much going on in one page.
I mean, I think really for the most part it could work. It's just that top panel is probably the most confusing to try and make out what's happening. I can see what you were going for, like an action scene that was unfolding almost in an animated sense. But it might just be that because you had that already happening on the previous double page spread, maybe you can clean up that top panel a bit and have it just, in terms of composition, be a bit more readable, because that's just the main problem, really. So I can see what you're going for, and it would probably work like this, honestly. I don't think it's a huge deal. That's if you're perfecting it.
That's the thing, man. And like we're all similar in a way. We're always chasing that perfection, and that is that is risky because you end up redoing all your work, which you guys are well aware of with Kozor.
Yeah. This is very possible. Very possible.
Yeah, the colorist would need to absolutely kill it, though. I think it's got to be 2 pages. I think it's got to be 2. All right.
Yeah.
Final question from me, guys, is what do I do with the boobs? Right. So we've got like half covered boobs here, Korey. Half covered boobs here, and then on this page here we have full coverage of the boobs. So what do I do? Do I make these skin colored, get the boobs all the way out, and have these little nipple blockers here? Or do I have like the half boob, half covered?
I like that one. I think that one works really well. It's also a cool, interesting design. Because it looks more like a
comic's going to be good.
It looks more like a uniform that way. So story-wise, if you just had the nipple blockers there, what's that telling the reader? Is she a stripper? Are these booby tassels? Like, what is going on? So she's an android. I reckon you can have the exposed cleavage there, but it's got to make sense.
This is a problem I've been having with Clayton in the Clone comic. He's like, dude, you got to explain why these babes look super sexy.
You don't even have to explain it, Korey. It's just got to make sense. if the reader has a question, they should be able to have an answer to that question that makes sense. Otherwise, why bother reading the book? It could just be an art book of sexy chicks.
I always loved in Ghost in the Shell the scene where she like gets naked and jumps off the roof and kills the guys through the window. Because like to me, like it's cool, like chick gets hot, but it was kind of more like she doesn't care about how her body looks physically. Like that's not even a thought for her. It's like this is the most effective way to get someone killed. And it just so happens that that was getting naked. And like that's great.
Wait, how did getting naked help her?
It was part of her.
She was like turning
camouflage
invisible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Logic.
Yeah. I think sometimes as well, what's great about attractive women in a comic book is they're able to throw the bad guys off with their good looks, especially if those bad guys are, like if you've got a mutant. Hang on, if you got like a mutant creature, for example, that really is super attracted to hot babes and wants to, do all sorts of things to them, kind of like The Hills Have Eyes. If you're a warrior chick, that's like the perfect way to go in there, especially if you're lethal, because you can totally throw them off, distract them, make them dumb and stupid, and then execute them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Wow.
I've decided in my clone comic, one mutant is going to be called Clay. And he's going to be like a main character of the mutants. He's going to look mangy as fuck. He's going to look mangy as fuck. And for some reason, he's going to be like super horny. Like babe chicks and shit.
Okay, Rob,
Like,
explain to
Dragon
me.
Ball Z and what's the boot guy?
Rob,
the
I just
guy
want
called? The turtle guy?
Rob, I just want you to
That's what
ask.
he's gonna be like.
I want you to ask Korey one simple question, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're reading this clone chick book, and you ask yourself the question, hey, how come all of the android chicks in this, how come they're all women? Like, where's the guy ones?
Look,
And you
in
ask
my
Korey.
description I came up with before, it was because the male sort of DNA gene thing was more easily like acceptable to the virus thing that the mutants had.
There you go.
And so
I mean,
it's
it sounds
like-
like he's got it sorted there, Clayton.
Yeah, and then Clayton's like, dude, that's a dumb idea, man. It doesn't make sense.
Dude, I
And
don't
I'm like,
understand it.
They just focus on perfecting the female gene DNA for these android clone chicks.
But why?
And that
Men are
makes sense to
stronger.
me.
Men are far stronger and bigger. It
No,
makes
but
no
dude,
sense.
See, you miss half the description. They make them more flexible, more like they are more stronger than the average human, and then they got super smarts and shit.
But
They're
what if
not
someone
they're not like normal humans, man. They're like androids and shit.
what if someone comes along and makes a guy version who's just got, thicker metal cylinders for his arms and
Dude,
is
see,
also
in
just
my
as
comic
fast?
book with super hot clone babes, there's not going to be a guy version, man.
Mm.
Korey, if you look at men and
can't
women
change
in the Korey, it's like if you put your clone
Dude,
chick into a
As
boxing
someone
ring.
Clayton before, I'm like, man,
Okay.
it's like either you overly explain it or you just don't explain it at all. Just accept that it's super hot babes from comic book.
Sure.
That's it. I love it.
No.
You either explain it or you don't. Fantastic.
Well, it's on record here now that I tried to save Korey for the
Look,
impending
Clayton
reviews
changed the
of his book.
I'm gonna have one mutant called Clay, and he's gonna be a weird fucking horny mutant. While all the other mutants are trying to kill these chicks with like guns and shit,
Yeah.
Clay is gonna be like obsessed with them.
Yeah, and I'll be the first one to die because
To be
They
fair,
fooled
Corey,
me.
the mutant should be named Corey, not Clayton.
that's a good
One's
point.
gonna be specifically called Clay.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and super chats were much appreciated. I know there's so many other people streaming right now, so it's great to have you all here. Go back Kozor while
Hell
you
yeah.
still can.
Yeah,
Hey,
see,
Korey, you're
Comics Mate came up with a good part. The
Yeah,
human
you're getting-
DNA starts female. The cloning process doesn't allow the male hormones to be introduced. Bam.
yeah. Basically, men are just mutants. We just kind of
I-
like we
I'm
are the
definitely
mutant.
gonna
Oh,
copy-paste that.
Korey.
That's it.
Maybe all the guys in this world are the mutants.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea.
yeah.
That's brilliant.
They're all horny mutants.
But okay, so there is
Exactly.
like one guy character that's like a cyborg sidekick to one of these chicks. That's always pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right,
I
that's
don't
it.
know.
All right.
Catch you later.
Sweet.
Um,
Thanks so much,
Comics
everyone.
Mate, man, that's a good description.
You should
Yeah.
write that down,
Let's
Korey.
do it.
You should write that down. Take a screenshot.
6:39. We should need to get to 6:40. So if anyone hasn't go back it now. That'd be awesome. Prints are coming in this or next week. It's gonna be really exciting.
Hell yeah.
You should
It's
do a
going to
stream.
be huge.
You should do a stream when you get them in.
We will. We'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
some videos.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you later.